Do not, I repeat, do not keep your extensions in for too long. Hi everyone, welcome back to our YouTube channel. I am Jonathan Van Ness. I'm a host, I'm an author, I'm a podcaster. If you haven't been here before, I'm also a hairdresser. Been a hairdresser for like 15 years. Maybe saw me on Queer Eye, maybe saw me on Getting Curious with Jonathan Van Ness on Netflix, but I'm so happy you're here. And today we're gonna talk about how to bring out the best, the most in your natural texture. Whether you are from a 1A to a 4C, here are 7 ways you can make sure to take better care of your hair. Here's one thing that's really important. No matter what type of hair you have to have a wide tooth comb or a wet brush in your shower to distribute conditioner throughout the hair. If you just get in the shower and you wash and condition your hair and you just like use your fingers to kind of put it all over, you're not gonna get the conditioner on every single strand of hair. The way to ensure distributing conditioner all throughout the hair, thus ensuring that you're gonna get all the benefits of all those great ingredients in your conditioner, fingers crossed, but not fingers crossed if you're using JVN, because those ingredients are gorgeous. You're just gonna take that wide tooth comb in the shower and you're gonna distribute, or you're just gonna move that conditioner all around. By making sure that there's no tangles in the shower, you're gonna make your styling less tangly, less laborious, and less of a nightmare when you get out of the shower. So you always wanna make sure you're distributing the conditioner throughout your hair in the shower with a wide tooth comb or a wet brush. Another thing that will not bring out the most in anyone's texture is overwashing. You wanna aim to wash your hair about 2 to 4 times a week, unless you are someone who is like a healthcare worker, maybe you're at a gym. If you're like laying your head on stuff that's like physically like yucky, or like when I go to gymnastics, if I like tumble into that like pit with all the foam blocks and all those other people have like jumped in the foam blocks and all those feet and stuff, I'm washing my hair. If you haven't really left your house or haven't really gone anywhere, it's okay. And actually sweat for your hair is really good. Just blow dry the sweat into your hair. Your hair actually loves it. Plus the sebum that your sebaceous oil glands makes in your scalp, your hair loves that sebum. It's like a Mother Nature's conditioner. So 2 to 4 times a week, 2 to 3 times a week, that's good. If you have to wash more, make sure you're using a quality shampoo and conditioner. If you're using something that's laden full of sulfates or laden full of silicones, which is really like where so much unhappy hair texture comes from. It comes from using really sulfatey sulfates and then a lot of silicones. The sulfates dry your hair out, then the silicones kind of coat that to make it feel smooth and soft, but it actually doesn't last long and it ends up getting frizzy and your ends look not happy and everything. Silk pillowcases, so important. And sleeping with your hair up, because of the way that the hair grows. This is a newborn baby, and then it's a kid, and then it's a teenager, and then it's an adult, and then this is geriatric. This is me sleeping every night with my hair down. There's a pillow, there's my body, and you're just like, you're literally just rubbing your hair all between your shoulders and the pillowcase for 8 hours a night on your 98.6 degree personalized flat iron. You're just going like this. 98.6 degrees all night, every night. That's a third of your life that this hair, which is really similar to fabric, is just getting rubbed to death. No. So when we sleep, no matter what your hair is like, we're gonna gather it on top of our head, do a very loose top knot. Do not like slick it back tight because that can create breakage around your hairline. I like to use a silk scrunchie. If you're someone who has like a 3 or a 4, any family of texture of hair, you're probably gonna be using like a silk wrap or potentially a silk bonnet to cover up your hair while you sleep. Gorgeous, but we just wanna keep the ends away from our body heat. So taking care of your hair at night, that's gonna bring the best out of your hair. Here's a really big one. Hair color does not really like to be lifted more than like 2 or 3 shades more than its natural color, especially up on your scalp. If you get really light highlights and they start way up here on your newborn baby hair, every time you go back to get your highlights redone, that hair is gonna be more prone to breakage. It's gonna be more prone to over processing. That's a really important thing, like trying to stay like 2 shades within like your natural color and figuring out the color that works for you and kind of like staying there. Just know that the more you try to change your natural hair color, because of the way the hair grows, it's just gonna change your texture. No matter what your hair texture, the textures are gonna be different. The highlighted hair is gonna hang one way, the non-highlighted hair is gonna hang another way. Like this is like 5 years of hair. Like this length, this has like probably been on my head since like Queer Eye started. You know, because your hair only grows like a 1/4 of an inch, like a 1/2 an inch a month. That's like this much of your thumb. Like if I did an all over color on my hair right now, and then wanted to grow my virgin color back out, that would take me like 5 years. I would be 40. Honey, that's a lot of commitment. So if you have hair that like touches your shoulders or below and you're really thinking about going way lighter or way darker, think about that. Another myth that is so in the way of bringing out your hair's best texture is that you should have a certain length of hair because you're a certain age. There was this like old school of thought that like older women should have shorter hair and then like younger girls should have like really long untouched hair. And really sometimes shorter is easier, it's springier, like for a little girl. Like you don't have to get all the tangles and it's like fun to like experiment and play. And then just because you get older does not mean you have to chop all your hair off. As our hair tends to become more silver or gray as we age, it can get a little bit more thick or more coarse. And if you cut off coarse hair short, it's gonna be puffy. But if you let it have a little bit more weight, let it be a little bit longer, it's gonna like swing and like lay and like be nicer. So just because you get to a certain age does not mean that you have to cut your hair. It's a really good way to find your texture. Another way that we really have to bring out the best in our texture is by practicing safe heat protection. If you are just like blow drying your hair with a blow dryer, if you're taking a flat iron to your hair or a curling iron to your hair and you don't put heat protection on before you do it, it is no go. It is not good. Your hair is very similar to fabric. So if you were to iron this shirt on a 400-degree iron every day, every single day, sometimes twice a day, this would be like a destroyed mess in like a few months. And you don't get to put a whole new hair on your head, especially if it's long. So if you were to like only put heat protection on half your hair and not the other, after 6 months, you would see a dramatic difference. The money that you spend on a heat protection will save you money on haircuts because your haircuts will last longer, the shape will be nicer, and your hair will actually like do what you want it to for a longer period of time because your ends aren't gonna be getting over-processed. I am in love with our Instant Recovery Serum. It's in the little glass jar. Oh, it's right here. Bing! And you just put it all over your hair when it's wet. You distribute it with a wide tooth comb. Then you can blow dry it. If you don't blow dry it, you can just let it air dry. Then you can curl it with a curling iron or flat iron it or whatever you want, and you're still gonna experience that great heat protection that's never greasy. It does not weigh your hair down. It's just literally amazing, if I do say so myself. Do not, I repeat, do not keep your extensions in for too long. Clip-in extensions were not, Joe, I'm sorry, but this is serious. They were not meant to be slept in. They're not meant to be slept in, okay? You cannot sleep in your clip-in extension. I mean, you can if you wanna rip your hair out everywhere where it's attached to. It's too much heat, especially with the extensions between the back of your head and the pillow. It gets warm back there. It's not good for your natural hair. Another thing that's awful for your natural hair, if you have like a full weave, if your entire scalp is braided down and you have a partial on there or an enclosement, if you have any sort of weave situation and you keep that on for too long, that is not good. It is too much weight attached to our scalp. We're gonna experience breakage. We're gonna experience, like, protective styles are protective, but in like moderation. You can't like keep it in for too long. And I feel like hairdressers are gonna come for me for this, but I'm gonna say it. Sometimes I feel like hairdressers are like, oh yeah, it totally lasts like 3 or 4 months because they don't wanna overwhelm the person getting the extensions. But really in reality, because your hair grows like 1/4 to 1/2 an inch a month, all that weight and pressure, like growing down 1/2 an inch, is not good on your scalp. It's not healthy for it. So really you should never be going more than like 3 or 4 weeks, in my opinion, because it's too much traveling hair, it's too much pressure on it. So just don't overstay your welcome with extensions or with clip-ins. I said it, and I believe it. Another best practice to bring out the best in your natural hair texture, no matter who you are, is develop a good relationship with a hairstylist that you trust. If you are throwing box color on your hair, then going to a hairstylist and wondering why the highlights didn't look right, so then you fire that colorist and you go to the other colorist because that one was too expensive and they didn't get your hair right, so you go to this other one. It's too many cooks in the kitchen. You have to find a hairstylist who you like, look at their Instagram, do some research, make sure that what the hair that they do is like the hair that you want, have a consultation, talk about what you're looking for, talk about how much maintenance you wanna have, talk about how much money you wanna spend, talk about how often you wanna see their face. Because if you do something that's too high maintenance, it might be too expensive. You're gonna see them all the time. You don't have time for that. You're busy. I don't know your life, and neither does this hairdresser. So you gotta tell them, develop a good relationship with the hairstylist you trust, and they will help your hair be the best it could ever be, and try to not play kitchen beautician. And I get it. When we see these hair color commercials, they're like half submerged in a lake with this gorgeous blow dry. I wanna go to the store and get some box color too, but don't do it. It takes so long to grow out. And if by some miracle it looks good when you very first do it, you will be dealing with that change for years. For years. When you have roots, you don't just go get that box color and put it all over your hair and think it turns the same. Why? Because dye load. You can't overlap it. You gotta like only get it on your roots. There's a whole thing. Medium brown's gonna be black in like 5 applications if you just put it all over your hair willy-nilly. There's levels to this shit. Literally, there's like a level 1, a level 2, a level 3, a level 4. There's levels to it. This is science. We don't go get yelled at in hair school because we wanted to. Were we obsessed with those 7 ways to bring out that? Yay! Yay, why are you guys sitting down? Standing ovation. Oh, keep going. Where's my phone? I want to get you guys clapping to insert it in the shot. I'll do it horizontally. Yes. Woo! Yes, natural texture. There's Joe. That's what I'm always talking about. Go YouTube. There's Jer Bear. Say hi to him in the street. Yay. Thank you so much for coming to my TED Talk. That was the 7 ways to bring out the best texture out of your natural hair. Is there more ways? Absolutely, but it is not your YouTube channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment below and go to the description.